So how have you changed? Like, what perceptions of yours are different from what they were 5 years ago?
It is that the last 5 years, that it became more and more clear to me how many people, especially in the Democratic Party, in Washington specifically, how little they think of the Constitution. And I think the last 5 years especially are pretty pivotal because you look at what happened with COVID, for example, as a starting point of how people, both at the federal level, at the state level, county level, in a lot of places, when given just a little bit of power, man, they took advantage of that and continued to abuse that power in a way that just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. When they're like, oh, okay, well, for public safety, everybody's got to stay indoors, and you can't go to church, and you can't even worship, out like in Hawaii on the beach. You can't have like an outdoor service. But if you're going to go and do a Black Lives Matter march, that actually rises above any public health and safety concerns that we talked about, and so that's okay. The politically motivated decisions that were being made in the midst of what they were calling this, the greatest health epidemic of our time, I think exposed pretty deeply to a lot of people that it was really all just about power and how little they were concerned about things like freedom and civil liberties and the ability
Yes.
for us to make our own choices for ourselves. And then it just continued to escalate more and more with the Biden-Harris administration, in how they were undermining the rule of law, continuing to this day, and how willing they were to both directly and indirectly censor, blacklist, and smear everyday Americans across the country if you happen to challenge them, whether it be on COVID or it be on things like, and this was I think this was the thing that caused Mitt Romney to call me a treasonous liar, was saying, hey, there are U.S. funded, DOD funded biolabs in Ukraine that should be secured because there's a war going on over there. And the last thing we or the world needs is anything going on in those biolabs being unleashed in a way that could pose a threat to people. That was seen as
But I should just say, you weren't guessing.
no.
You got that, or it was confirmed in any case, in a public exchange in the Senate between Marco Rubio of Florida, the sitting
Yes.
Republican senator, and Victoria Nuland, the Undersecretary of State, who volunteered it on camera.
Yes.
So,
And it was on the DOD website talking about their long history
right,
of funding these biolabs, not only in Ukraine, but in many other
of
countries
course, because
around
it's
the world.
outside U.S. law, right? So they can, and it's bioweapons research, obviously. But you were just I don't even think you said that. You just said basically what the Undersecretary of State said
Right.
in the Senate,
Right.
and then you have a creature like Mitt Romney calling you a traitor to your country.
did.